What's up, guys? It's Raisin Bread. I've got the lovely, the undiscovered Sasquatch, the enigmatic, the bombastic Mr. Tyler with me, and man, have I been waiting for this other guy for so long. I've missed him so much. It's borders on gay. And I don't, I'm comfortable with that. But we have with us the great Ben, the great Ben. Ben, welcome back. Thank God.
Yeah.
Holy moly. It's so good to see you, buddy. I missed you so much. But let's get into it. So, Super Bowl weekend, guys. Okay, Super Bowl weekend. We got to see all sorts of stuff. My favorite thing from the Super Bowl weekend wasn't the commercials, wasn't the games, wasn't what the frick's his name? Tyler Mahoney, McCon. The frick's what's that dude's name?
Patrick Mahomes, him,
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes hurting himself,
Kermit the
and
Frog.
Kermit the Frog. Yeah, his ankle turning into some Southern style barbecue. Nah, that none of that. My favorite thing was Jimmy, aka Mr. Beast, telling everybody who's like paid for Super Bowl ads that they would make way more money with him and get way more views with him than they would just putting an ad on the Super Bowl. I think that's the most genius. I think it's a genius business move, but he's a genius. He is legitimately a genius.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, $7 million a piece. Now, we have to remember we're in the unique position. The world has been waiting for what a Brit who likes rugby thinks of the Super Bowl. So, strap in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the hot take you've all been waiting for. I have no frame of reference for this. Is $7 million good? Is that overpriced? Is that too expensive? Is it undervalued? Why would somebody pay 7 million? I mean, how many people watch the Super Bowl? It's got to be in the tens of millions. So it's less than $1 a viewer, which tells me that maybe that's all right. So I suppose the question here is, does it mean that next year we are going to get just one long Mr. Beast video at the halftime of the Super Bowl? Or does it mean that we're just going to see the commercial reel of next year's Super Bowl with Jimmy appearing in every single one?
That would be. I mean, I'd watch that. I mean, I would watch that, bro. If I saw Mr. Beast on the Super Bowl, like if he was every commercial, yeah,
Right.
I'd watch him.
I gave 1,000 blind people Yves Saint Laurent, and they all absolutely love it. And now,
and with that, we've lost our American. We've lost our American viewers. What the fuck?
oh man,
Yeah. Well, like I mean, like here's the thing, man. And Tyler's our analytics guy. Like, so I'm looking at the statistics right now, and what does it look like? 98 million viewers. How many views does Mr. Beast get?
He gets
he's over
I mean,
100
on
mil
average,
subs, right?
yeah, but he gets around like 50 to 100 million per video, and multiple ones more than that.
Wow.
And how long are the videos?
They range from 10 to 15, 20 minutes. It literally just all depends. But like it's an interesting topic because I mean, what he tweeted out was so a guy tweeted out the rate of each year for a commercial, and like for example, this year was 7 million per commercial that lasted 60 seconds. Last year I think was 5 million. The year before that was 3 million. I could be wrong, but it showed these rates, And Mr. Beast just commented back with, crazy, if anyone wants to reach 100 million people for less than 7 million, let me know. And it's like an interesting discussion because most people, like in traditional media or people that are now in the digital media, they say the only ad that is worth its price is the Super Bowl commercial.
Right.
But then you have, like Mr. B said, he's like, yeah, okay, but 7 million, I could probably get, 200 million views for like two
Yeah.
different videos with that price, because he's spending that money on, he's spending about like 1 million or 2 million per video.
It's
Yeah,
also the combination. If you brought Mr. Beast, if it was Mr. Beast combined with the Super Bowl, so that's another angle that makes it more interesting. Is on his own, if Mr. Beast was making an advert, yeah, I'm sure that would have a certain degree of success, and I'm sure that would bring that brand a lot of attention. But if Mr. Beast was doing it in collaboration with the Super Bowl as an event, now again, look, here's my ignorance: is the Super Bowl just the name of the event, or is it a company? Is it just the name of the
It's like the
playoff
championship, and
game?
it's
Right.
like the World Cup.
So it's the name of the championship.
Yeah.
it's like the World Cup, like if it matters.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If
Yeah,
if people in
yeah,
America watched the World Cup, yeah.
yeah.
Because I do find that hilarious. Like where I'll watch an American show or something during the World Cup, and they will say, "Oh, coming up next, the World Cup," and all I know
Yeah.
is that the audience is not interested in that.
Nope,
They
not at
because
all.
in Europe we don't need to tell people that the World Cup's coming up next because they know. They save their advertising pounds and
I,
euros.
here's the thing, Ben. So we live in the United States, where we have beautiful people, and so the thing is when you have attractive people, like we're just not, we're not amused by the whimsy of you guys just running around kicking, like we didn't grow up in a third world. I mean, neither did you guys. I don't really get why you guys are into it, but yeah, I guess
Well,
you guys
I
don't have
don't know.
attractive people, so that
Well,
makes sense, right?
In England, the rule seems to be invent a sport, grow global popularity of that sport, never win a championship again.
Correct.
That
Let Indians win. Yeah.
that's how we tend to do things. Because if we did, no Englishman would have anything to talk about with their friends. If we won a championship and everything's going well, that's no fun because we bond on a negative. Brits bond on a negative. We bond on things being terrible, which is interesting as a point of reference because that's how Baz and I became friends. Is we bond is is we bonded on a negative. We 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 bonded on it's all hopeless, isn't it? And then such is his, as he would say, his Semitic angle. Yeah, yeah. So we're all going to hell in a handbasket, and lo, a friendship was born. So, but I bringing it back to Mr. Beast. Like, I think if he were to do a collab with the Super Bowl, that would take it to
Amazing.
new heights. Like
It would be
like
blow my
genuinely, if
mind.
he appeared in the commercial reel, oh my god, that would
Holy fuck.
blast it off
Yeah.
into the stratosphere. Like
Yeah.
they would, it would be because one of the interesting things about we're now at a point where the Super Bowl ads are an institution in their own right, which I guess counts
Right.
against Jimmy's argument that he could, like, dominate it. I know that's not exactly what he said, but like because the Super Bowl ads are an institution, like even if you don't have somebody who's interested in the game, they would still watch because they want to see the halftime show and they want to
Or
see
the commercial.
the
Yeah.
commercial reel. And it's kind of the same like in this country, we have Christmas ads. Everyone waits for the Christmas ads. They're a big institution. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's like the idea of, oh, what are they going to do? Because it's almost like a small movie. Because 60 seconds
Mm.
is coming from TV where you might get 15 to 30. 60 seconds is quite long. Like it's enough, and this is going to sound sarcastic because of my accent, so apologies. But 60 seconds is actually enough time to put a plot line in it, and you can actually tell a story in a television commercial. So that it is quite, it's a real institution. So it's like, it would he if he collaborated with them, I absolutely believe that would take it to new heights. But I don't maybe I don't necessarily thinking on the fly here. I don't think he could replace it.
I think he could. I
You
think he
do?
could. Yeah. I think he could. Not in a way in terms of like, oh, hey, like people aren't going to watch the Super Bowl. It's more like, hey, Mr. Beast presents Super Bowl, 35, or I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, T?
He has a really good commercial on YouTube where I don't even know what this company is, but Mr. Beast is literally in the front of the frame the whole time and talking about this product. And in the background behind Mr. Beast, there's a person tightroping or walking across a tightrope across a canyon. And for some odd reason, he's built such great tension where I actually watched a 30-second ad on
Wow.
YouTube instead of pressing skip. So like my idea would be
Wow.
that he would create a 60-second video that it makes you feel a certain type of way, and then at the very end he's like, go right here to win $1 million. And then he's going to get 100 million people's email list or whatever, and now boom, there you go, he'll actually like benefit from it. Oh, it's almost like creating a new type of ad, like how there was a commercial last year that was like the first one that did a QR code, and literally the whole commercial was 60 seconds of just a QR code, no music, no nothing. It was literally just a QR code, and
Genius.
the website like crashed in
Genius.
2 seconds. But like
Wow.
it's
Genius.
innovating stuff like that compared to we I don't know if we got to reinvent the halftime show
Right.
because we got Rihanna out here with the all red. She's going up and down. Like, do we got to reinvent that, or are people
Yeah.
still tuning in to see her sing her songs from the 2000s?
Mm.
Are they even tuning into? I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, especially with the Rihanna halftime show, bro. Like, I skip. I mean, I skipped that. I didn't watch that. Like, I didn't really. And as nothing against a pregnant woman performing. I like. Who's that Asian chick? Hey Ben, who's that Asian chick? That comic? She's really funny. She performs while pregnant. She does
Oh,
something with
Ali Wong.
Cobra. Ali Wong
Yeah.
is a gift, right? And she performed while pregnant,
Hmm.
not a problem, right? Um, and yeah, like that's not an issue to me. The thing with Rihanna is she done? Is Rihanna done?
I don't
I think
know.
Rihanna's done.
I think like it's all. I do think it's weird. So let's go and get my tinfoil hat.
Okay.
She, I do think it's weird that she performs in red with all her backup dancers in white, and Sam Smith performs in red with all his backup dancers in white. I just think that's strange. It's a strange coincidence. There's also this odd trend of Rihanna and a lot of these other stars who are pregnant wearing outfits that show their baby bump. Now, I don't know if that's a new thing or if I'm only just picking up on it now, but I saw a lot of stars at the Brit Awards because January and February seem to be big months for music. Like we have the Grammys, then we have the Brits, and we have the Super Bowl halftime show, which are all big events. I don't know. Like as you can tell, I'm really trying to fill time here because I'm not amused or enamored by her performance at the Super Bowl at all. I don't get it. It's almost like yeah. To your original question, yeah, I'd say she's past it, man. Like
Yeah, she's
it's.
done, bro.
And I don't
She's
mean that
done,
in a
bro.
disrespectful way. I just mean it in
No,
like
bro, she was great. Remember that? I don't remember if you guys remember. I mean, I was in high school. She put that song. What was it? La 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 la. Something. Oh,
you're gonna
uh,
have to narrow that down.
yeah, yeah.
That was that was
I'm
six
really.
notes that have
You
probably
that was so bad that Tyler's face moved. That's how bad that was, bro. Like I like
through
saw
the
it from the corner
beard.
of my eye. Like I was like, oh no.
I
Tyler,
kind of think though that Rihanna might still be around because, like, for example, it's nice for a change that I knew every song. it wasn't like in like a different
That's
artist that
true.
they play their brand new album, and you're sitting there and you're like, well, I'm gonna go eat some chips because I don't even know any of these songs compared to like this year. And like last year it was like Snoop Dogg, it was 50 Cent, it was Eminem. You know all the songs, so you could sing along with it. This year it's all of the Rihanna's classic songs, so like you could at least be like, oh, I this is kind of nostalgic. Like I could stay here for this and follow along.
Is that I feel like that's kind of a requisite to be given the halftime show
Right, right,
is you
right,
have
right,
to
right,
be somebody that everyone knows. It has to be enjoyable because it has to have the maximum amount of reach possible.
right, right, right,
Because
How
right.
isn't it
long
too
is
that
the
they have to
halftime
pay
show?
29 minutes. Well, half time is 29 minutes,
29
so it's
minutes.
a probably 20 to 15 minute show.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And how long is it? How long is American football is played in quarters, right?
Yeah, so 4 15-minute quarters, and halftime is normally 13 minutes long, but the only time that it's extended is for the Super Bowl show.
Ben is so adorable. You
Are
guys
they?
you guys play using balls. Like they're still called balls there, right? Like you
Well, yeah, but
guys
we have
what was that?
we have half time because that's the only break. You play
Right.
you in rugby you play for 40 minutes a half, and in football you play for 45 minutes a half, and
Uh-huh.
then like
And
because
no one wins.
in hockey you have thirds, in
Yeah.
basketball you have quarters, in football
Uh-huh.
you have
Now
quarters.
it's showing off.
There's
Hey,
Daddy's
games.
hey, but
missed
do you
you.
think Rihanna would? Do you think Rihanna would do well at a World Cup halftime show in the middle of
Uh,
London,
Yeah, I think she'd.
or
I
would
think
she
she
she'd
just
might,
get
get.
she
booed
I
out?
might.
think she'd.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
might.
To be fair, that would blow the roof off. But like, it'd be. She'd only have 10 minutes. Like she'd have to. She'd have to run out on stage. She'd have just
But
enough time to get
but
through like a
she
concert rendition of Umbrella, and then she'd have to be ushered off because Ronaldo and Messi would be skipping back onto the pitch.
yeah, but the thing is, but wouldn't she have more time? London has pretty big. She's Caribbean, isn't she?
She is, yeah. Yeah, she's
Yes, I
Bayesian.
would destroy a World
Well, she's
Cup
very
show.
popular in the UK. She's very, I'm sure that is why, because the UK does have a sizable and notable Caribbean population, and so,
Yeah,
but I don't think that, to be honest, she's popular anyway. She is like, I don't know,
she's Rihanna.
on the scale of 0 to Michael Jackson, how famous would you say Rihanna is? Because I'd say she's pretty high up there.
She's high up there, but I don't know, bro. I've never been a big Rihanna. Like she put out that last song. I don't know if you guys remember. She put out a song just a while back. It was some ballad bullshit, and I was just like, "Bitch, where are the bangers? I
Oh
want
yeah, I mean
you."
the last song that I'm aware that she released was with
Yeah,
DJ Khaled, where she was wearing quite a see-through top.
nice. Okay, well, you're gonna send me that later. Yeah, no, that's the only that's the only
I think what she
that,
should do is perform between each round in the UFC fights. You know, that
that would be
right as the fighters
amazing.
are about to come back
That
out
would
to
be
knock
so
their heads off, they're like,
amazing.
hold on,
They have
we
a
need one
minute.
song to play. You know, they put like a box in the middle of the stage that she could stand on. She starts performing. Okay,
Yeah,
ding ding,
starts
off to the next
twerking.
round.
Yeah,
Starts twerking in the middle of it, right before Khabib fucking just comes
wow.
Yeah,
in. Yeah,
yeah. He's
yeah.
saying this is number one bull, and they're like, no, no, no. She has to get a time. You know, she has to get a time.
She's like, and featuring what's his name? Hezbollah. Yeah,
Hasbulla,
featuring
yeah.
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah,
Just
he just
running in.
slaps her. That's what he would do, and just run off.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. I think. I mean, for me, I've never been a big Rihanna fan. I know she's a big deal. It's just, oh, it's just not. It's just not for me. I feel like every year the Super Bowl show gets worse and worse. Like I'm not interested. Maybe because I'm old. I'm just not interested in most artists.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I was excited about was the Guardians of the Galaxy commercial. And I didn't even, I haven't seen the Flash commercial. I love, what's the the raccoon dude's name? I'm like a child.
Rocket.
Rocket. Rocket's the
Rocket.
shit. Rocket's the shit. I love Rocket. I think he's interesting. In the comic books, he was always really interesting. He's my favorite character from like
Mhm.
the Guardians, right? He's like, it's like, oh, you're a weapons specialist. It's like you like technology. This is all relatable content. Um, but that's were there any notable what commercials were notable? Were there any funny ones? What's going on with the Super Bowl, man? Like, this is why Jimmy needs to fucking take over. Jimmy needs to take over.
You're right.
Like, Jimmy needs to take over.
I'll concede it. Yeah, he absolutely would take it to new heights. He is necessary because all we know is that it is because like the thing. It used to be that a Super Bowl commercial was good because it got complaints or like straddled the line, right? Like, for example, I'm thinking in particular of, I think it was
like
Kylie
the GoDaddy
Minogue.
ones or the Dorito ones.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. The GoDaddies. Yeah.
Yeah. And they found the line and they just pushed it a little bit. And of course, now that is such, I don't know, choppy waters that no brand wants to take that risk. So it's just I haven't even watched it, but I can hazard a guess. I can hazard a guess that there was one there about a fragrance which had a hot celebrity woman and a hot celebrity man against the dark, gloomy backdrop, and then one of them sniffs the other's neck, and it just says "Pour homme Givenchy."
Are you Irish? What are you? The fuck are you?
Yes, I have some Irish heritage. Yeah.
Okay, that explains it. Yeah, no, that explains it. The rage, the anger, the like never letting things go. Yeah, it's relatable.
Many could say that Ireland is the Middle East of the British Isles.
Just completely emotionless.
What's that? Famine and an irrational hatred of your neighbours? Yes. Checks out. Sounds about right.
Usual fascination with baked goods, and far more muscle mass than your neighbors. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. And they fuck better. That's the other thing. That's how you know. Man. So, yeah, man. I mean, Rocky. I'm excited for the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I hope that goes well. But other than that, bro, like I don't know. I know this is kind of messed up, but I was bored. I was so bored by the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
which is not a thing.
It's relying on it. It's happening to a lot of brands and a lot of institutions where they are relying on their reputation because they think that a reputation is concrete, and it's not. A reputation is a very malleable thing. It just takes a while for it to catch up to reality. So yeah, like there is that, and that's why it feels like they're going for the shock factor. You know, everything is like that. Like Sam Smith's performance, like we said in the production meeting that we weren't really going to talk about this because I feel like it's kind of been done to death. But you know, whatever. It's still topical. It's still current. It's so, from my point of view at least, it's so unremarkable. Sam Smith's performance at the Grammys and all the rest of it, it's so predictable. Like, I know a lot of people are talking about the Satan stuff and kind of tying it to Lil Nas X, and now he's been rolled out at the Brits looking like some sort of, I don't know, like a villain in a kid's show. Like he looks like a villain in Lazy Town in that kind of inflatable latex thing. And he's just sort of being bounced along the red carpet. But to me, it's just like literally 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, 2013.
Crying? Yeah.
Well, that was Miley Cyrus's wobbly year.
That's right. Yeah,
where she had, you know, she was a pretty, because the reason why I draw these similarities, right? Because a lot of people are drawing the similarity with Lil Nas X and the video for Montero where he lap dances on Satan. And then, which was weird. And then you've got Sam Smith now, but the difference being is Lil Nas X is not good, so he has to do that. Whereas, because he's got to generate.
I like Lil Nas X. He is weird.
But everything he's done, weird. It's been like his hits have never been. It's always been with either Billy Ray Cyrus or it's been like, oh look, they got that dad from Disney Channel. Yeah, look, he's on a song. And then with Jack Harlow, where it's like, oh yeah, we'll do Jack Harlow, and it's just, whereas Sam Smith, like Miley Cyrus, was very good in his own right, and was a legitimate artist and produced music that people really enjoyed en masse. And then Miley Cyrus, for no real appreciable reason, went off the rails sort of in a managed way, and there was like naked stuff and licking sledgehammers. And now we have Sam Smith doing his one, which is he's bleached his hair, he's put on a grotesque amount of weight, and he has now done this sort of Satan wearing a top hat with horns on it, and now is dressed as a, a demonic Mister Man at the Brits, and it's just like I can't help but think it does look like if Vivienne Westwood styled the Michelin Man. That is what I get from Sam Smith with that outfit. But again, it's just the overarching point. What's that?
Every time you talk, I'm just like, geez, like what, like high school, like what is the equivalent of high school for you guys? What
Secondary school.
Secondary fucking school. How hard, just hard, how lonely was secondary school for you, would you say? Like, just every time, like, the references I hear from you are like someone who's like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 years old would make.
I genuinely, I remember me and my friend who did stand up within a couple of months of each other, laughing with each other after we first did stand up, because we were talking about how much we hated school because of how useless we were with everything that you needed to be good at socially, like women and parties. And we were just sitting there going like, it is almost like we sat down with each other without vocalizing it and went, right, we're useless with women, we're useless with parties, we're not popular, nobody likes us, we're going to be funny, we're going to be funny, and we're going to show them, and we're going to write jokes. And what writing jokes actually means when you're that age, viewers and listeners, is watching endless hours of stand-up comedy and just picturing yourself in their shoes. Yeah. You memorize it because in your mind that makes you feel like you could come up with something that good yourself.
Correct.
But yes, quite lonely, we might say. Yes. I'm amazed that you got that from Vivienne Westwood, R.I.P. You know, the late Vivienne Westwood.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point being is with Sam Smith, it's just it because its only objective is shock and awe. It ends up being really boring. Like he was in an interview. I can't remember who it was with.
Hang on. Is this because like, so I'm a big fan of Mr. Beast. Tyler and I are big YouTube like analytics guys. We really like sort of tracking the stories of people. And Tyler, you know this. Jimmy's whole thing is storytelling.
Right.
That's what it sounds like to me, I think. And you can correct me if I'm not wrong, Tyler. I'll speak to you. But like his whole thing is like, hey, stories need to be told in a certain way. So much so that even the story that like you were listening to, Tyler, like it was 30 seconds, but you were like, I want to see how this story ends. Like how many times in your life do you have moments like that where you want to see a vignette? Even in a visual format like that.
On an ad as well. Like
on an ad
that's the really impressive bit, is that's a really impressive detail, is the fact that Tyler could have skipped it and you didn't.
Yeah.
And why was that? Is that because you wanted to see the man fall off the tightrope to his death?
Yeah.
Well, initially it was just I wanted to see why is he on a commercial. But then once I was done watching it, I mean, I realized what he did throughout the whole video, and that's kind of. I mean, I feel like too with
which was what?
What do you mean?
What did he do throughout the whole video?
Like I wanted to see what he was going to do in a 30-second video that's not on TikTok or Instagram Reels or something, like a long, like a like a landscape.
You wanted to know
video format ended. That's an ad.
You wanted to know how the story ended. That's what it was. Would you say?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say it was a. I wouldn't say that it was a story. Even I guess it is a story because you do want to see if the person crosses a tightrope. But I just wanted to see, why is he like advertising this? I wanted to see like the analytical side, and then I'm like, subtitles everywhere. Okay, he's on this part of the screen. Now he's on this part of the screen. And I was like, well, when is he gonna actually like promote the? When is he gonna actually promote like the item? And then like he does in the last 3 seconds, but it hits perfectly. But like but with ads, I feel like now it's not so much of like creating a good ad. It's just like these creative agencies that want to win awards. Like they're given these big old commercial projects, so they want to make these commercials to like win an award, so then they could get bigger projects and it looks better compared to like a great story. A great story that got me thinking about Doritos for like 2 months was the old commercial where the dude he's done eating a bag of Doritos and he has like the crumbs on his finger, so he doesn't know what to do. And his buddy's like, "Well, just put your finger through the hole over there in the wall." So he puts his finger in the wall, and there's a dude on the other side of the wall, and he sucks his finger and he licks all the crumbs off his finger, and then he pulls it
Oh
back.
man.
He's like, "Oh wow, like my fingers are now clean," and it was a great story.
Yeah.
You couldn't forget about it because some dude's on the other side of this wall sucking this dude's finger, and like it was amazing. Or
Yeah.
even like, or even back in the day with like the GoDaddy commercials where uh, Danica Patrick, she's doing her whole spiel about GoDaddy, and at the very end, she like rips open her jacket, but right when you're about to see something, it cuts off and it just says GoDaddy. Like, all the older parents that I knew at the time were all pissed off that us kids saw that, but
Right.
everyone was talking about it for weeks. Like, they were still talking about it for weeks
Right.
after that, saying, "I can't believe so
Right.
and so did that." But like, those
And
ones
this,
hit. But
but
yeah,
that's what we mean when we say finding the line, right? So like, can
yeah.
you think of an ad recently that like, because it's interesting, it's quite
I don't
it's
remember
this
one commercial besides the Marvel or the movie commercials from the
right,
Super Bowl.
and
Like, I
that
don't
and the
remember
Marvel
any.
one is almost like cheating because it's a
Given.
movie, so they
Yeah.
they
Well,
get
no,
to
it's not just any movie. It's like one of the most anticipated films, right? And
right,
did they get James Gunn back for that? He's still
Yeah,
on
that's the
sabbatical.
last Disney. That's the last Disney movie that he's doing. But like, but
Good for
even
him.
that is storytelling because they're telling you what this movie's going to be about without telling you what the movie's going to be about.
Right.
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 Yeah, that
Right.
is true. That is true.
It's
But it's
like,
like
how
because
can
like,
they tell you that these guys are going to defeat this villain without telling him he's going to defeat the villain? Defeat the
Right.
villain.
but it's like
Do you
we've
think?
gone. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask. Do you think the way they're going to defeat the villain is by perhaps touching um, uh,
Hurry up and
younger,
finish that sentence.
younger, younger men, younger underage men?
Jesus fucking Christ.
I see your face. I'm gonna go. I will frog march you through this. Yeah.
Oh god.
Do you think that's how it's gonna work? Do you think that's how do you think they're gonna solve this one? How do you think they're gonna? How do you think that them Duke boys are gonna get out of this one?
Because what is this now? This is how detached I've been. This is how detached I've been from Marvel, from the MCU for a while. Is it Volume 3 that's coming out? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Or
This is the biggest flex you've ever made. You're just like I don't know. Like I've had sex before, and so I don't really understand what movies. What is this about? I've
I'm
been
so
inside of this.
multifaceted, lonely in high school, but now somehow a Casanova because I don't know
Well,
which Guardians of the Galaxy
you're
film
about
we're talking
you're
about.
out of all of us, you're about to get married, right? We have a team. We have a team of people. He's the only one who's going to get married, or who's about to get married. And so, yeah, he just knows what the touch of a woman who loves him is like.
Hmm.
And and Tyler nodded on that one. And
I'm just
remember
really good
how
at reading comic books. I don't know how to talk to a girl, but I could read the heck out of a comic book.
yeah, I've heard of women. I hear they're big in Europe. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, but no, I don't know. I actually, honestly, Tyler, like I thought I was a big Marvel nerd, and then I met people like Jordan and Tyler, and then I was like, I don't know, like I'm a big anime nerd. You could ask me about anime, but
Right.
I don't know about
Well,
that.
I
So
enjoyed the MCU, but then after Endgame, I just checked out because it was just like, oh, fucking She-Hulk, and and what was the other one? Vision and Wanda and Wakanda Forever, and just you're flogging a dead horse. Please write some new shit. Like, and that goes to wider movies. And forgive me for going down this tangent. It's like the whole, who should the next James Bond be? Just write something new. No more remakes. No more prequels that nobody asked for. No more Finding Dories. Just write something new. And I don't care who the protagonist is. I don't care whether it's female. I don't care whether it's a trans, non-binary, pixie-kin furry. Just write something original and make it good, and I will spend money to watch it.
Well, I think the problem with Marvel is everything revolved around the main characters, Iron Man and Captain America. They have now died where we don't have like a guy to fall back on like those two guys, where they have to start building those characters up again for this like so-called second phase for Secret Wars. But we haven't really done that yet, because you got all the like these different shows, and I guess you could consider like Loki being one of the main guys, just because everything's going to revolve around his TV series, and everything with King because going up to Secret Wars. But they gotta like, I don't know, maybe if it's like introduce more Marvel characters and create like I mean, there's going to be another Avengers coming out, so if they could do that right, they create a new Avengers team, and then they have individual movies for those new Avenger characters that possibly could do good.
What you just said there about the good characters being dead. So now what are we going to do? Are we going to build up the story of these new characters and try and make them good? That's an allegory for Gen Z if I've ever heard one. Like, there's nothing good coming down the pipeline, fellas. We need to build this.
But like they can't be taking the route of they build the new characters by pushing the old characters down.
Right. Yes, they need to be good of their own merit. They need to be
they have to have their own.
But aren't they doing that already?
Well, okay? So here we go. Here's a perfect opportunity for Ben to look like a noob, because that's never happened on this podcast. Who are the Guardians of the Galaxy character in this latest film? Is it still the same? Is it still Star-Lord? Is it still Gamora? Is it still Drax? Is it still Groot? Is it still Rocket?
Yeah.
It's still the OGs. It's still the gang.
Yeah, so I think the only thing they could do at this point is kill some of them off.
Right. Because that's the only plot line that is left at any writer's disposal in the 2020s.
Well, because it's going to be their third movie too, and they're just going to have the whole crew go into the rest of the movies. They got to have some like type of payoff, which is going to be one of the main characters are going to die in order for the end to feel, like you earned something for watching the whole movie, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem with Marvel is they kill all the best villains.
Oh, that's an interesting take.
That's
so your
true.
take,
Yeah,
they don't let the villains develop.
I think that's the main problem, is that after every movie the villain dies. Because like now we don't really have villains around anymore. It's like the only guy is King. Like, what about if there was a villain that actually, he survived or got away?
What about Magneto?
Well, we don't know. I mean, Magneto.
Are they in the MCU now?
Yeah, I mean, Fantastic Four is going to come out, but like he's probably going to be the main villain, but that's still not for another 2 years or so. And what happens with that? What about if they're like, oh yeah, they killed Magneto?
The trouble is because Tyler is so unflusterable, I genuinely believe that if a meteor struck in the back of shot, he would still maintain his composure and peace to camera.
Wouldn't even faze me.
Right.
That's a lie. It's a fucking lie.
Yo, if a meteor went through back here, I'd be like, hey, you should have saw that.
It's a lie.
Okay. I'll probably.
We might get an eyebrow raise. We might get an eyebrow raise and then a look over the shoulder. It was just like, Well, that's just happened.
Like
Anyway,
what are you
yeah, the
doing here? Like
MCU.
I'm in the middle of a podcast, you know.
It's just, no, no, that's not true because Ben has not met Drunk Derek. For those of
No,
you who
no, I
don't know,
haven't met Drunk Derek.
I've met Drunk Derek a few times in my life, and every single time has been, I think, even more special than the last time. I feel joy. I feel I feel refreshed. I feel as if there is a God. It's
Oh
it's the sort
man.
of it's the sort of rejuvenation.
Marvel's kind of divided into like different phases. So we just left phase four going into phase five. Phase four was kind of all the TV shows and the most recent movies, and now we're going into phase five, which is going to lead up to the big bad, which is Secret Wars. But I feel like and for people, because this was the worst phase I think so far for Marvel. This was a
Yeah.
phase that people disliked the most. They didn't like it. They hated it whatsoever. I think they got to go, back to making like characters more relatable, I guess, or like having their own struggles, um, and not just weird struggles, like struggles that we relate to. Like, who cares if it's all girls, all guys, whatever the new characters are going to be, but you got to make them relatable. You got to give them a story. Like, people can relate to Wanda because she lost her kids. She's trying to go find her kids, and she's struggling through it. It's not because, whatever random reason that makes no sense that she's going to be introduced with.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right. Like it just I don't know, there's a great series on YouTube that I'm sure you're familiar with, Tyler, Honest Trailers. No?
No, yeah, I thought
Yeah,
you were
by
going to keep
Screen
on going, but
Junkies.
yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so like they did some really funny commentary on the original Avengers films and kind of phase one and phase two about how it was all quips. It was all comic relief quips from various characters. And then I think you're right. I think phase four had a lost identity. It didn't have a real identity to the point where I haven't watched a single second of it. I haven't seen any of the series at all um, in Phase Four, just because they didn't capture my interest. I hope that changes. I thankfully am not entrenched enough, so I'm a normie, which means that I can enjoy it at the surface level rather than going, oh, that's not accurate to the comic books. I can just enjoy it for the piece of entertainment that it is. So I hope Secret Wars is better, and I hope Guardians of the Galaxy is good, and I hope it follows on from. I don't know. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is the most enjoyable sub series of movies out of the MCU.
Yeah, like episode one is either my first or my second favorite Marvel movie, probably that and Deadpool. But like it's such a great. I think it's such a great movie because it's allowed to be like a fully comic relief movie.
Right.
It's not they aren't really pushing it. It's like one of the only Marvel movies like that and Deadpool. They're like allowed to be comedic the
Well,
whole
they knew
time.
what their identity was trying to be. They knew
Yeah,
exactly what they were trying to make this particular piece of entertainment. They knew that it wanted to be like, which makes it believable and real, and to use your word, because I think that's the most important word here, relatable. It is like you're absolutely right. You have to be able to see yourself in the characters. And again, I can't comment on this because I haven't watched any of, like, what are the series? She-Hulk, Wakanda Forever, Wanda and
Moon
Vision.
Knight, WandaVision, Loki. Um, I guess you could consider Shang-Chi was part of that. Eternals possibly before that. Which ones that have recently come out? Shang-Chi was really good. Shang-Chi was the movie. of the character. And then also you got Doctor Strange, which was very good. That's what introduced the Illuminati, which is one of my favorite parts in comics.
Mhm.
But like most of these movies, I'm more biased because they're pulling out Easter eggs and random stuff that I grew up as a kid watching. So I freak out, and then normal people are like, "Well, that was really boring. Like I didn't like that." Like I like it because they show the Illuminati, but all my friends were like, "Who are those people?" I'm like, I gotta start explaining to them, and they're like, "Okay, cool, whatever."
I didn't realize Tyler was such a loser.
Sometimes you hate to see it.
What a like fucking nerd. Like this whole time, I just thought he was like, you know what I mean? Like, because he's a wrestler and like he bodybuilds and I bodybuild, so I just like thought like I thought I respected him. And so like what I've like learned from this podcast is like I still respect him, just like a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit.
I'm just like
A little bit.
with this whole thing. I'm just ready for the new shit. Like whenever something new comes along, I'm
But bro, are there any good movies? Like, I don't watch movies, bro. I don't watch movies
no, there
anymore.
aren't. This is what I mean. Like, because for example, I remember when did Suicide Squad come out? What 2016?
Yeah, yeah,
About
something
then,
like that.
about then. And I
Yeah, yeah,
remember thinking like, oh, but what if this is really good? What if this is a
yeah,
really good movie?
Actually,
Let's give it a
Avatar 2 was
chance.
good.
yeah,
Which was
yeah. Oh, I heard Avatar good. I heard Avatar
Avatar
2
2
was
was
really
good.
good.
it
Yeah,
was
But I mean, it
again.
better be good
I
because they
haven't.
spent $2 billion. Like it better be good.
it took
Yeah.
10 years too, or 20 years or some shit. Yeah,
Well,
took
that's the
forever.
kind of catch-22 of saying that you always that as James Cameron saying, I want to use the latest film technology. It's like right, okay, well then it's never going to get finished. Like it definitely, Avatar 2 definitely took too long to come
Yes,
to market. It also came out in a different world, like because I feel like because Avatar is such a visual spectacle, it has to be enjoyed on the big screen. Now, I don't know what it's like in the States, but in the UK, there is no cinema industry anymore. There is the IMAX in London, that in West London, that gets a good turnout because it's a famous cinema. But apart from that, like everyone's waiting for it to come to a streaming service where they can just get it on their smart TV, which is not what Avatar's for, man. Like that's not how you
no,
enjoy Avatar. You enjoy Avatar on the biggest possible screen in the darkest possible room with the best possible sound. In other
yeah,
words, a movie theater or cinema.
yeah.
And it just doesn't make me hopeful that the trilogy will be completed. But no, I haven't seen Way of Water. Uh, I hope it's good. I'd like to. Maybe I'll try it.
No,
I mean,
well,
they filmed number 3 with it too, so 3 is already done filming as well.
Okay. And I mean, we've touched on it. We've fringed around it. We've ventured into DC. We've talked about Suicide Squad. The elephant in the room, Ezra Miller. Who wants?
I
Oh
really,
no,
I'm a
no
big,
one's leaping on this one, are they?
I'm a big fan of Ezra Miller and his
Yeah.
work. I really like what he's done with the format of pedophilia, or I guess alleged pedophilia. Some people take art forms and um, they don't really do anything new with it. They just do the same old thing
Yeah.
that sells, and it's not interesting. Um, you know that I like people who take risks. You know, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy people who go out on a limb and really play with the form.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
we
yeah,
haven't had anyone bring, not since Hank's wife in Breaking Bad has kleptomania taken center stage in an actor or character's story until Ezra Miller came along. Apparently very good, very adept at breaking into people's houses.
Yeah, I didn't know I didn't even know that part. All I know about this dude is that he's just undoing the work of like if you hate gay people, man, this is your guy. This is your guy to cite for every perceived ill they might commit against you, although statistically will most likely not commit against you. So, man, if I was a homophobe, I'd just be like, man, this is the one. This is the
Well, I
gift.
feel it gives angry Midwestern conservatives blessed relief from the rage about drag queen story hour just for 5 minutes. So now that they can be annoyed.
Good old. All right, boys, you heard him. We got ourselves a good old fashioned pedophile. And you see a jog, the guy just knocking on it. Just, yeah. Bro, I don't get this dude. I don't get this dude. Like, any other person in his position would be gone. He was accused of assault in 2020.
Yeah.
He was accused, and by minors. And wasn't this during Me Too? Like some chick in Germany said she like he did something to her, and they're pretty tight-lipped about things historically. So I assume there's some truth to what she's saying. Ex-fiance, who knows? The thing with him is just the fact that like there's so much stuff, and no one said anything, and that kind of creeps me out a little bit.
It is a lot. You're right. It is a lot of stuff. Like in our reading, setting up for this show, we have collated some of Ezra's little escapades over like the last year or so, and there's a lot here. Now, part of me thinks, like, just maybe I'm playing devil's advocate for a moment. Part of me thinks, like, well, how much of this is true? Like reading, well, like a lot of this is coming from TMZ, so it's not exactly the backbone of journalistic integrity, but it if you throw enough shit, some of it will stick. So some of it's probably true, but it's just like, it's the bit that I don't get is I thought that like he's 30, so he's born in 92, so he's a he's a young guy, and he looks a lot younger than 30. But it's like, I would have thought that this generation of Hollywood stars were media trained to death. Like, so they couldn't put a foot wrong. Like even Bieber, right, at the height of his angst, the worst he did was what? Piss in a mop bucket. Like, wasn't that in fact, a lot of the fun being poked was, you used to have Keith Moon blowing up bathrooms, and now you have Bieber pissing in a mop bucket and drag racing his Lamborghini. And then now we've got, so maybe in some ways, just going off that train of thought, maybe Ezra Miller is a return to the form for Hollywood starlets, which is absolute carnage. Breaking into people's houses, stealing stuff, assault, punching.
I think he said, what did he say? He said to some dude, like, I'm going to take you and your slut wife down. Like, bro, I thought we took these people down. What is I guess the thing that's like, confusing for me is like why is he getting a pass? Like he's a crazy person, clearly. I
I
don't
just
think he.
think people forget.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
the
people
That's
forget,
the
as in,
double
like,
down
for
brigade.
example, yeah, but like people get bored. Like, for example, everything that's going to happen today, everyone's going to forget tomorrow. And that, like, that's just kind of how like the news cycle goes. Everybody like just forgets what happens today, and we're on to the next topics and the next topics. Like, I feel like if DC really took this seriously, they wouldn't be spending $7 million on an ad to promote him. Like, I feel like that's kind of crazy to be. I feel like as DC, I wouldn't want this commercial anywhere. Like, I wouldn't
you,
anyone to know that he's in
Right.
our movie.
you'd be like, you guys, I think you're just in the executive board meeting. You're just like, I feel like he's just like, I feel like if anyone like Google like anything, I feel like they'll find out a lot about this guy. Maybe we shouldn't go with him. And the whole room's just like, no, Tyler, you don't know what you're talking about. You fucking nerd slash loser. What do you know? Why don't you go watch Guardians of the Galaxy, you little bitch? And you being you, you just go like whatever, and that would be the end of it. But no, like it's I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of this. I've never seen anything like this before at all. Like I've never like. Who's protecting him? Is he like? Is someone rich? Is he part of some like? Is he a Vanderbilt? Like, what's going on? This doesn't make
From what
sense to me.
from what I heard is that he like his family can't get in contact with him. He's just kind of free balling it all
He's
over,
mentally
just
ill.
doing his
He's
own
mentally
thing.
ill. That is a wild story.
So
So for those of you who don't know, Scottie Pippen. What the frick is this kid's name? I forgot what the kid's name is, but Scottie Pippen has a son, and
the
he
son
just
is
got
called Scottie Pippin Jr.
okay, terrible name, and
Yeah.
he's now playing. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he's really nailing it. So Russell Westbrook recently was traded. Scottie Pippen Jr. Is currently on the Lakers, and now he's going to be teammates with Malik Beasley, who not too long ago was downing his mama, Larsa Pippen.
Oh
And
man.
if you've seen his mom, yeah, man, I'd down that too, bro. I would down that
Oh man.
too all day, son, all day. Holy frick, look at her. Seriously, Google her. I mean, and like, how old is she? How old is she?
48, I
Hey,
think.
no, no, she's young. That's what she is. She's young enough. She's young.
She's young enough. She's young
That is
enough.
the most sexually aggressive I've ever heard you, Tyler. That
That is. What's it? What would you say to him? I was just walking. I'd be like, "Hey, nigga, where your mom at? Where your mom's at? What's up, bruh?
oh man.
Where your mom's at? Where's your mom's at, son?
I'd
Where your
have her
mom's at?
courtside first game and say, "What's up? What's
Oh,
up?
hell yeah,
Hey,
bro,
hey, what's up?"
bro,
And I'm dropping
bro,
50. But I know if I'm not dropping
bro,
50, I can't go on
bro.
social media for a week.
It's
But
bro.
then
I'm gonna be on the. I'm like I would make sure he was on the bench, and then when I see, I would do a three. I throw a three, and then I'll blow a kiss to his mom and look at him from the bench. That's what I would do.
here's a question though.
Just to establish, yeah, yeah.
Who who in the Lakers like I don't know, upper levels of the organization who decides who to trade and who to buy, who who thought that was a good idea?
Honestly, they probably don't know or don't care. Because, well, also
They
too,
don't care. Yeah.
they don't care because they're trying to get rid of Westbrook to get more players to go win an NBA championship to become more of a billionaire. They don't really care about anything else except for winning rings and
But
making
no, but that's
money.
what I mean. Like, but that's not going to provide you a winning team. Two, I mean, how old is
Yeah, but it's the same thing. That's why I mean LeBron only plays half of the games. He sits out half of the games. Like
Yeah.
I don't think they it's just not the culture there right now.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man.
It's not for him.
Well, like how
It's not for him.
how old is the guy who's not Junior? How old is the one who's been
Scottie
making the
Pippin or
bedrock?
Malik? Oh,
Malik,
let me
yeah,
see.
that's it.
Malik, he's like in his early 20s. I think he was drafted just a couple years ago.
Early
Attaboy.
20s. Oh my god.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Get it. Get it. Yeah. No, I want.
Like the Lakers have a good culture because LeBron obviously won the COVID year when they were in the bubble, but like ever since then it just hasn't really been the same.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I don't know anything about the Lakers. All I know is I know a lot about this kid's mama. That's what I
Oh
know
man.
about. And I wish I knew more, son. I really did. I'd
He's
take
in
her
his
out.
early 20s.
Is
Ever
he?
since that got released on social media, how many NBA players DM'd her? How many NBA players do you think DM'd her?
Bro, that'd be so
Oh man.
disrespectful. That'd be so
Dude, but
disrespectful.
yeah, but
But-
when stuff like gets released like that, all of a sudden every other guy in the NBA is like, "Oh, okay, okay, I might got a chance."
Okay. Yeah. I got a chance. I definitely got it. I think we all got a chance. I think you and I have a chance, Tyler. Bro, let's hit her up.
Okay.
Let's see. I know my type. I know.
I'm just gonna comment on one of her pictures where she's like looking at the camera. I'm gonna be like, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
Oh, that's a good one.
That
That's a
that
good
kid,
one.
Scottie
That's a
Pippin
good
Jr.
one.
Man, like go
That's a good one.
move to Burkina Faso, move somewhere
Burkina Faso.
where the
Burkina
American
Faso.
media can't reach you. Like
Burkina
what
Faso.
you've got your whole
What?
career ahead, or you did
What is
have your
wrong
whole
with you?
career ahead of you, and then you got traded
Yeah.
to the same team as a guy who's been slamming your mum.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. It's
man.
amazing. It's
I
amazing.
feel
I
for
would have.
you, man. I don't need to feel
I
for you.
mean,
You're a millionaire. You're more successful than I'm ever going to be. Like,
that's not true. That's not true. No one's fucked your mom on this team, so I think you're doing pretty well. I mean, we could change that, Ben, if that's what you really want. But like, I think you're doing pretty good, bro.
but
Has
man,
anyone?
like this guy. Oh no. So Malik is 26.
Yes, he's 26.
He's 26, and
Yeah,
so
and
what?
his
How long
mama's.
ago? How long ago did their relationship end? What, like a year?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
No,
It
I'm
doesn't
trying to get
really
the age
matter,
gap. I'm trying to get the age gap. So we're getting on for
bro.
done.
It's like 20 years at least.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god. He
yeah,
must have.
yeah.
It must be measured in feet.
I think she just likes niggas, son. Don't laugh at that. But
Yeah, but she
yeah,
had
I
one.
think she.
But she had Scottie Pippin. Why would you? Why do you need to then?
She probably wasn't getting
You've
enough attention. She needs a new younger guy that's still in the NBA. She
Yeah,
didn't like the legend that's not in the NBA anymore. She wants to be
right,
courtside still.
right. Why would you want someone who was in the Hall of Fame as one of the greatest players of all time is considered a part of probably I don't know basically the Batman?
right.
Why
Yeah.
would you want that? Why would that make you happy? I mean,
Man.
yeah, but I don't even know who the frig Malik Beasley is. I know who the fuck
No.
Scottie Pippen is.
Like, this is the other
Like,
point, right? So Malik Beasley could break LeBron's point record and nobody would care. That's not what he's being remembered for.
I feel
He's
like
being remembered
LeBron would
for LeBron would literally
I feel like
detonate.
LeBron would care.
But
Yeah. I feel like LeBron would care.
no, Malik could do that, and the average viewing public is going to go like, "Oh, did you hear about Malik Beasley? Oh, is he the one that broke LeBron's points record? I don't know. He's the one that bedded Scottie Pippen Jr.'s mum. Like,
Correct.
that's what's
Correct.
actually going to be remembered. It's got nothing to do with his basketball is trivial at this point.
Correct.
All his playing stats, they are all meaningless now. In fact, they should bring that up and at any game. Like if they bring up like anything about like I don't know, fucking rebounds, points, threes, whatever. At the bottom, it should just have number of Hall of Famers' wives he's slept with. One.
Yes, that's enough. One is enough. You know what I mean? You don't need any more than that. One is enough. One is enough.
What? Like
one is three too many, to be honest with you.
Like, bro, I remember growing up. I remember growing up and hearing about a kid at 17 or 18 getting off with someone's mum. Getting off means kissing at a house party. Like,
yeah.
What do you do as the son of that woman now? What do you do?
I mean, I don't know. I'm Muslim. We don't really do that for the most part.
No.
That's kind of your guys' territory. You're shameless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have no sense of, you know what I mean? Yeah. That was really
I've seen
creative.
Just like moms don't really, it's sad, but like moms just don't really care what their like kids' thoughts are about it. They're like, well, I'm single and old and I should just be doing my own thing. And then the poor kids is like, well, but what about me? They're like, yeah, well, who cares?
Actually, do you know what, Tyler? You raise a great point. I have been prefacing all of this with the idea that these are good mothers.
And that is the end of the show. Thanks, everybody. That is the end of the show. Thanks for joining the Raisin podcast. We'll see you guys.
Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Please be sure to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell so you know when we make a new upload. If you did enjoy it, please share it with somebody else that you think would. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Raisin Bread Talk. Hit us up on any of the social media channels. We're on all of them at Raisin Bread Talk, and we look forward to seeing you.
Follow us on everything. Episode. This is going too long. Have a great day. Bye.